Hey, great. Well, so today, this weekend, I think there's a lot of busy people out there because there are two battles of the launches, which is Elta and Parktown. And so, for the many of you who are actually who went down to the show flat, how was it? Is it impressive for either of the projects? So, I think this weekend is going to be quite crazy, right? Besides handling our Chinese New Year, everybody's rushing to all the show flats and all. So today I'm really want to kind of give you a better heads up. And because while you are already there doing your viewings for both projects, I think there are a few key things that I would really want to take this chance to highlight and to kind of share with you what are the certain traps that you as a busy professional and homeowner, when you go to show flat, what usually goes about. And later on during this entire video, I want you all to stay all the way through because I'm going very in depth to do this comparison between Elta versus Parktown and which property is actually the dark horse, in my opinion, in my research, that is going to stand out and it may shock you at the end. So you must actually subscribe to my channel as well as watch this video right now. And I'm going to give you all the in-depths. We're going to cover quite a fair bit of things. So besides the floor plans that we're going to do comparison about, I'm also going to deep dive into the pricing comparison between Elta and Parktown. And most importantly is which development is most ideal for you in terms of investment or in terms of own stay, and how long do you want to hold on to each development in terms of the holding horizon, because both properties they have very different traits, and if you pick the wrong one for your own investment journey, you may want to kind of continue to watch this video as I'll be going in depth more details of what kind of property is suitable for what kind of profile of buyers out there. All right. If you are still on the fence, you have not seen the show flat, you don't know which one you want to go for, and you want a private tour with commentary from us that we can guide you through your process, do scan the QR code because Elta and Parktown is already for public preview, so we can actually help you to slot in a certain timing that's best for you. Ideally, try not to go for weekends because it's going to be crazy. The experience is totally not good. Uh, Weekdays, if you can spare the time, I think the experience is more enjoyable. So right now you can scan the QR code, or maybe today you're kind of like, should I go for this? Should I sell my property? I don't know whether should I sell already and wait for some of all these launches. You can just reach out to us so that we can give you more clarity before you decide what is happening. All right. So we cover the. So again, this is the things that we're going to cover today. So let us straight away go into the layout comparison. All right, so let us, instead of going through the 2, 3, 4 bedroom in sequence, I want to start with the 4 bedroom types. Why I do that? Because from a 4 bedroom types, you'll be able to see what is the main differences, as well as a estimate pricing that we're going to release and share with you. So you are the first one to actually see that. Okay. So for 4 bedrooms, right, what we see is that today, what I for Parktown, right, let's just have an understanding. This is the very rare 1356 square feet unit, right? That comes with a what? Walk-in wardrobe. Okay, I use this as an example to do a comparison. So because why Parktown has a lot of layouts. Okay, so you'll be confused. So if you are kind of wanting to see the other layouts, you can check out the other video that I've done, and I go in deeper into all the different types of layout to do some comparison. All right, so that one is purely just on Parktown. Today's video is we're going to do side-by-side comparison between Elta as well as Parktown, and to determine which property type is suitable for my investment journey, for my property journey that we should be more geared towards. All right. So, and at the end of the day, which property stands out more? It really comes down to a few factors, and I'll share with you my very honest, transparent view about these two properties. And now we are going through the layout. So I'm using the what do you call it? The walk-in wardrobe kind of layout for Parktown, and they do have other layouts, and one of them is of course the traditional layout as well. So this is the one that is a little bit more unique. That's why I want to bring it out to see what is the main difference that you can look into. So for Parktown residences, I think one of the key component of this, being a 4 bedroom, there's not much differences that you will see for usual layout configuration, especially where Parktown Residences is the what is a harmonized first integrated harmonized project, and it's very comfortable where you have all the bedrooms tucked at one side where they will have all the windows as well as the fourth bedroom. Okay, window will be here, right? So this is how the configuration is. So it is very functional, if you ask me. Although everybody is complaining, oh, now with a four-bedroom, it's a long corridor, but that is why you have a longer corridor for the number of rooms. And this has everything checked in for a four-bedroom where you have your household shelter, you have a yard, as well as a WC. So this function well for everything. And the long kitchen is also definitely usable and functional for any kind of families. The only thing that, if you ask me, when I look at this, is perhaps what we are concerned about is always the what? Long corridor. Okay, the long corridor is always something that it seems like from a layout perspective, they are able to squeeze in another unit here. That is why they have this kind of longish kind of entrance. So at the same time, I think a lot of buyers have come to norm that with this space, they will just do something with it. It actually enhances the privacy part of it. So is it considered a wasted space? If you ask me, yes. But at the same time, there are other usage that we can accept as more developments are also having this kind of layout. So as long as your layout is not the super weird kind, right? I think generally public and the consumers will adapt. Okay, I think one of the best things Singaporeans do is we adapt very fast, whether it's layout, whether it's harmonization, whether it's cooling measures. After a while, we kind of like, yeah, this is very normal. Let's get back to business. Okay, so this is how we adapt. So I think one of the for Parktown, I believe if let's say you have a chance to actually buy this unit, right? And depending on the floor level pricing, of course, I believe the walk-in wardrobe concept is something more unique, and it can be one of your selling point when you exit the property. So throughout, you will be hearing a lot of why is it that I keep talking about selling the property when I may be wanting to keep this property, because your exit strategy definitely is one of the biggest thing that we do, even in our one-on-one consults with clients. Because whatever we buy today is not just to buy and then hope that this property can grow. We buy with the intention to sell. So we will start looking at in the next couple of years how this property is going to be sold to the next buyer, and then we look back and see how we buy today. Okay, so within Parktown, let's look at Elta. So Elta four-bedroom, you can see that the whole thing kind of a little bit more compact. Okay, in comparison. So why is this so? Because first of all, you can see that their bedrooms are all kind of this way. Okay, it's kind of this way. So which means it makes the entire corridor shorter. Okay, it's a shorter corridor. So everything kinds of being compacted. Compact, what is the advantage? The advantage is that you no need to move too far lah, to from one place to the other, and it saves space. So even though it's more boxy from a layout perspective, but I think the utilization of the space when every room is also good size, they are all functional at the same time. All right, so the advantage of Elta versus Parktown, it lies in where? It lies in the kitchen. So even though you can see, right, Elta is 1184 square feet, but they are able to provide a dry kitchen area and a wet kitchen area. Of course, give and take, the wet kitchen is smaller, even with the yard and WC, but it provides that kind of segmentization. So I always believe today, if you're going for a four-bedroom, right, if you just have an enclosed kitchen, I don't think it's good enough. Okay, four-bedroom, you need to have a little bit more unique points to it. So particularly a lot of the four-bedrooms, we would like to have that kind of dry kitchen or even an island concept, so that when you entertain guests, it's kind of more premium. So this is where Elta, I believe, stands out in that aspect. The rest of it, in terms of space, in terms of rooms, I don't think there's going to be too much of a difference. But always take note that today for Parktown and Elta, there's one specifically very important point that you must look at because of the size. 1358 versus 1184, which means depending on how much they are launching, the overall quantum could balloon in sizes, balloon in amount because of this. So yes, you may enjoy Parktown because you want the amenities, you want the convenience of it, but you also must be very careful that are you able to digest based on this size and the quantum that they're going to release. So this is why we will dive in deeper later on to study this a little bit more. Okay, so for both properties, for their 4 bedrooms, they also have other sizes. Okay, so it's not only Parktown have different sizes. All right, Elta also will have. And so today, the difference in terms of layout is not going to be too much difference. Okay, but for Elta, okay, Elta right now I'm showing you is a 4 bedroom. You know their premium 4 bedroom premium is only 1313 square feet. It's even not as big as their 4 bedroom in Parktown. Okay, so that's why the difference in terms of layout is not so much. So what is the difference between Elta Premium 1313 square feet? More space, definitely, because it's bigger, right? 1184 to 1313 square feet. And 1313 has an additional toilet. All right, so their 4 bedroom premium has an additional toilet. So this is also another factor that I see, right? When you have a 4 bedroom, you only have one toilet, two toilet. If you don't want to count your WC, okay, WC is what? Half, 0.5. Okay, if you don't count even WC, that means a 4 bedroom, you have two toilets. Wow, how to rush? I seriously don't know how people rush for two toilets. One of, because during rush hour, you only use that one common toilet. Is it really functional? So this is something that, from a functionality perspective, from when it becomes a resale, when buyers are buying it, they will take note of this. Okay. And that's why if let's say you are going for a proper 3 bedroom, of course you can say that Elta also is one toilet and then two toilet and then WC 0.5 lah. Okay, 0.5. Yeah. So it's the same. So if let's say today you want to have a little bit more space, you may want to consider the 1313 square feet unit, because besides the additional space, there's also additional toilet. Okay, so no need to rush. The rest of the layout are quite similar. So it really depends on how you accept, whether the price point, whether the extra toilet and extra space, the extra 200 square feet actually makes a lot of difference. Okay, make a lot of difference. Okay, so that is the reason why one of the key things is that today, if you are able to go for a 1313 4 bedroom premium, hey, not bad. You can see. So let me show you an example. Of course, this one is the bigger 1485 square feet. Okay, this is 4 bedroom premium. You see, their Parktown premium is such a big one. Okay, it's such a big one where, of course, you will have one, two, three, and then 0.5. Okay, the rest of it are very similar in terms of layout versus the 4 bedroom. So you must ask yourself today, 4 bedroom is at 1356 and the 4 bedroom premium is at 1485. Actually, the difference is not too much. Okay, we still have the functional, very big kitchen. Again, there is no wet and dry kitchen for this concept. And your entrance is a little bit more usable because it's not a very long L shape. It's basically just this way. So you're kind of saving space here. But the only thing that I really find that if given a choice, okay, given a choice, I may not even want to choose a 4 bedroom premium, not just because of the size plus times your PSF lah, or this one, your quantum wise, based on affordability and acceptance level is different. But I'm looking at it like, how come the kitchen is entered from here? Kind of, to me, I find that the developer would have a better choice to kind of design this in a way nicer, or maybe even really add in the dry kitchen here, because you got a lot of space actually. So what makes them do it this way, I have no clue. Because the entire area here, it kind of wasted. You see, you just have a very long corridor, and when you have this kind of long corridor, what can you do? Put paintings or so this entire area is wasted. So this is something that I find that, okay, because we enter in from the dining area, then isn't this a little bit wasted of space? And your dining is kind of in between your kitchen. Unless you're saying your dining, it becomes an island. Okay, you have a high island kind of concept that you have a high stool, you sit. Okay, then it perhaps make more sense. But if it's a proper sit down dining, and then you have to enter the kitchen on the other end, it may not be done in that way. Okay, so this is something that I find that from a layout perspective, it can be further improved. And it seems like this is a sliding uh, door, right? So maybe it's the European concept. You open up, wow, then you have a big space there. So this could be something that they are looking at. But I'm just saying that for four-bedroom premium, hey, come on, give me something more. You see, uh, yeah, Elta already give you the dry kitchen concepts. So that's where the difference is. Okay, of course, for Elta, besides the normal four-bedroom, I think, and the four-bedroom premium, Eltas do have a very special layout, which is the dual key. So is dual key really making a comeback? It seems like the last couple of developments we do have one stack of dual key. Okay, so that is something that we also have to ask ourselves. All right, where Alta dual key performance actually will the consumer buy or not? Because Ori also have dual key in Toa Payoh prime location, also very similar to Alta, right? And right now they still have balanced dual key units. So does it mean that consumers cannot accept dual key? Not necessary. So the only left for Ori is all the higher floors dual keys. The mid floors, lower floors one, all are taken up. So actually, if you ask me from that sentiment, there's still demand for dual key, especially if let's say today you already max out your name and then you want to buy a investable property, you will go for dual key because you can stay in one, you can rent out the other, or you can rent out both. So there's really a lot more flexibility, especially if you have limitation with names to purchase property. Okay, but that says usually dual key properties, their price point is a little bit higher than the usual four bedroom. So it really depends on the developer pricing strategy. So you need to see, does it make a difference if let's say we're going for the dual key? Also, but does it mean dual key? Maybe you'll say that, oh, Coach Edmund, the take up rate is not so good. So maybe the demand is not so much of an investable property. So it really depends on different objective. Right? Some people they will just prefer to go for the four bedroom and then for family stay. But if today you are purely looking from a investable angle and you want to max out, should I, no, I wouldn't even say max out, meaning you want additional improvement in terms of a rental yield, then the dual key concept could come back to you. And they are not going to build too many dual keys. We are seeing lesser and lesser developers looking into that. But this period, it seems developers are bringing back the dual key. So maybe that tells us something in terms of longer term. Okay, there will be a huge demand. And because there's a limited supply of dual key, perhaps buying a dual key could allow you to have a higher appreciation in future. All right. So it really depends on how you want to hold this property or not. All right. So I think one of the key reason for people owning a dual key is first is you are able to kind of buy two property for the price of one, or should I say buy two properties for the price of one person's name. Okay, so you save on your stamp duty, taxes, and everything lah. Okay, then of course, if you're holding on to a dual key, you may want to look at how long you intend to hold your property for. So one of the best advantage, if you ask me, for dual key is that you're able to swap out your CPF to cash usage. So if you don't understand what I mean by swapping out your CPF to cash usage, then you reach out to us. So I will explain to you one on one why this is very crucial, especially if you are looking to maximize your returns, maximize your CPF usage. Okay, because generally, four bedroom dual keys are able to help us achieve that so much more, or it's like an exchange of CPF to cash. So for dual key, I think the configuration is basically a four bedroom. So usually we have been seeing a lot is the three bedroom dual key. Okay, three bedroom dual key, and then usually they are split into two and one. So for four bedroom dual key is even more rare. So a proper three bedroom is really very comfortable. And if you just split this, their three bedroom is their three bedroom. Everything stays the same, right? In terms of dry kitchen, you have a wet kitchen, you have a yard. So everything is very functional, and this they are able to even put in an additional store. So these are all function well for a family. So today, if you're a family that you are looking to buy a three bedroom and you have extra funds to actually include the dual key concept, this is seriously something that you want to consider of. And they did not have much wasted space even for the three bedroom. You can see that the room are stacked this way. Okay, very functional, very proper, and they are dual key basically it's a one bedroom. Very, very good. So I believe this development for this four bedroom, you'll be surprised that people will be definitely looking at it if the price point is within their reach, because there's only 36 units. 36 units, but you can get a very good rental on it. Why not? Okay. Okay. So let us look at three bedroom. Okay, so three bedroom Parktown. Again, they have not only this. Okay, so I pull out this one for the 926 square feet. This is a dumbbell three bedroom. So in my previous video, I also shared that we are starting to see a lot more three bedroom dumbbell unit because of how today is harmonized. They're able to kind of work out the efficiency of the units a little bit more. But that says there's a lot of conventional layouts as well in Parktown. So the normal corridor kind, and then three rooms on the side. So you do have options on that aspect. Okay. And the key thing is that they are conventional layout. Okay, so this is dual key, right? I'm not saying dual key, sorry. Dumbbell layout. So which a lot of homeowners prefer a dumbbell because of usage of space, you have no wasted corridor, that kind of approach. But there's always pros and cons. Also, like for example, this three bedroom, you must be able to accept what? No window, no window law. You must be able to accept. Okay, even master room, no window. So if you can accept, you must also ask yourself, is space more important or window more important, or ventilation? So something always have to give. Like you cannot want everything. It's quite impossible. So it really depends on pricing again. Okay, everything comes out of the price, which at the moment we only have an indicative. That's why when we are doing your research to help you, there are a lot more things that we can kind of do it properly. Okay, so for the dumbbell layout for three bedroom, this is very comfortable. And they're conventional layouts. So don't erase those conventional layouts. And that's why I believe Parktown developer, they have given it some thoughts. Because the conventional layout for Parktown, they actually have a corridor window that allows ventilation. Okay, so most of the three bedrooms, even nowadays, you see, they don't have a corridor window. This one has. So it basically allows ventilation, it allows your corridor to be brighter. So that's something. And of course, the rooms are all lined up one straight line. And with the extra corridor window, what is the one thing to take note of? I think you all know lah. Okay, with everybody will say, oh, I wasted corridor space too long. Correct. You see, so that is something that you also have to take note of. But if you ask me, of course, the dumbbell layout, even though without the windows, will still be very, very popular. And as for Elta, if we compare, okay, you can see that the efficiency across is a little bit different. Again, their three bedroom is this way. You see, they have a shorter corridor space because they have tucked their design this way instead of all facing one side. So what's the disadvantage is one of your bedroom view not so good lah, or the other one depending on where you're facing. Also, but I think um, you don't need all the rooms to see very nice also lah. Or does it really have a certain premium unless you go very, very high floor for Elta? Because one side is facing AYE, you have to go up at least 30 floor and above to kind of really minimize the traffic noise, you see. Yeah, so again, if you are looking into the different configuration for three bedroom of Parktown and Elta, do check out the other video that I did where I go in more deeper onto the comparison of the layouts as well. So Parktown, for Parktown, they also have a different kind of layout, which is the conventional one. So you can check that one out more. So this is three bedroom. So if you ask me, both have their pros and cons. The kitchen for Parktown is definitely wider. Okay, even though their size is only what, similar, actually similar, yeah. And kitchen for Elta, I believe is a little bit small lah, but maybe because of the corridor. So these are some traits that we need to understand. So you serve certain space, but the space maybe go into the master room. You can see the master room is damn big. Okay, 14.1 size. All right. And there are three bedroom premium. So this is where the configuration is different. So just do take note. For Parktown, they also have a 3+ study. So for Parktown, besides getting a 3-bed premium at 1066 square feet, I believe this 1066 square feet will be very desirable because everything you have, storeroom, WC, yard, longer kitchen. The only small little thing that I find that how come the developer don't do is it is an enclosed kitchen, but if you're getting some form of a 3 bedroom premium, then at least you can have some open window, not a window, glass lah, to see through lah. Also, yeah, so that is something that I share that, okay, if you have that, then that kind of perfects the entire place. But for the size 1066, you're able to fit in everything. I think this is a very typical, very functional property type layout that moving forward, this is going to be very, very popular. And again, it also requires the pricing to see how it goes. So one thing I think Parktown has done is that they created a slightly bigger size for most of their layouts, and they have many layouts. That's where the confusion comes in. And if you find that, wow, just by looking at the floor plan, you already lost on cars really, do reach out to us. We'll be able to help you to spot and help you to narrow down the selection. Okay, so this is where the value comes in. This is where our expertise comes in to help you. Okay, for 3 bedroom premium for Elta, you can see the space wise. So the difference is that they have the study here. Oh, so their study is that you can see study open and then come here, then the yard kitchen. So it kind of a circle lah. So the difference between Elta and Parktown is still a household shelter, which means you cannot do anything with this, or it has to be fixed there. But for Elta, the study area is functional. That means you can do anything with it. So the 3 bedroom Elta for their dumbbell unit, I find that it actually a little bit, I feel that the space usage is so much better. Okay, so much better. And it's a very open kind of concept that you can go in, which means you have full space. And one of the key things that you have to take note is that there's a very big area for dining. Okay, a very big area for dining. So this makes the entire dining area much more functional. And if you look at, not that Parktown one is no good, but Parktown kind of seems to be a little bit tight. Okay, a little bit tight here because of the narrow walkway. So usually when it comes to this kind of situation, we have to ask ourselves lah. Today, if let's say given a choice, would I go for let's say for example for the uh, Elta, right? Should I go for 3 bedroom plus the study, or should I just go for the 4 bedroom? So that's where we will have to do our homework to see what's the pricing, what's the selection, how many units estimated they are. Then we can make a better decision. See, when you see, that's why today when you are doing any preparation, you cannot just look at that development. You also want to open up your horizon a little bit to start seeing how the layouts, because the layouts, why do we emphasize on layout so much? Because layouts are the ones that when it becomes a resale, buyers will be the one, enjoying it. They will be the one to experience it for the first time. And if your layout is not ideal, then it's very difficult for your property to be sold. So this is why we always have the end in mind. How we buy is how we're going to sell in the future. So moving forward to the 2 bedrooms. So 2 bedrooms nowadays, I think you can't go too far different. It's either dumbbell or non-dumbbell. And this comparison, both are dumbbell unit. And one is 678 square feet. The other one is 700 square feet. So very different kind of configuration. But it all functions the same. Very not much things that we need to, be careful about. I think one of the key things that we need to take note, either for Parktown or Elta, when you're choosing a 2 bedroom, because generally 2 bedrooms are for investment. All right, so you may want to highlight a few things, which is how low do you want to go in terms of pricing, or how high do you want to go that it makes more sense. So generally for 2 bedrooms, depending on everybody's affordability, you don't want to pay too high for it that you cannot sell in future. Because usually for 2 bedrooms, we don't advise you to hold too long, because once you can unlock the capital and the profits from it, right, you can use it to bundle it up and swap it to the next bigger property. So that's usually a 2 bedrooms configuration, that it is a stepping stone for you to grow your assets to a bigger quantum. All right, so 2 bedrooms are usually what I see is 3 to 5 years horizon move forward. Okay, 3 to 5 horizon move forward. And you want something that is functional, which means your price point of entry is very crucial. So later on at the end of the video, I'll be sharing with you the indicative prices. Okay, so for Elta and Parktown, and what do we see from there, and estimated what are the range of per floor jump estimated that we will go for, as well as today based on investment, based on my holding horizon, Elta or Parktown, which one should I go for? Because they are very different product, and at two different ends, right? East and west. Okay, so there's something to take note of. So another configuration is of course the two bed, one bath. Okay, two bed, one bath. Size is about 600, 592 as well as 614. Again, two bed, one bath is the difference for this is Parktown is an open concept. But open concepts, which means you have a wider kind of space. So it's not necessarily no good for open concept. Why? Because when you enter in, it feels wider. But whereas for Elta, right, you can see that there's a narrow kind of walkway, then you enjoy the enclosed kitchen. So this is something that I believe that is really personal preference lah. Or well, if you ask me, I will personally choose the Parktown because it has wider kind of entrance, kind of it makes a little bit more sense. While for Elta, of course, they do have another two-bedroom layout, two plus one bath layout. So let's see how the pricing is to this for the mid. So there's always some online people always saying that, or if you can, don't go for two bed one bath. Okay, so then you say, oh, you must stretch yourself to two bed two bath. That's the most secure. I mean, I don't discount that. It all still boils down to the affordability and how are you using this property. The way that I see is if you can only afford a two bed one bath, and this is only the stepping stone for you, would you rather not buy and then save up for the next 2 years or 3 years before you can buy a two bed two bath? You and I know by saving and waiting, the prices will already have climbed up by then. So yes, if you have the ability to go for two bed two bath, ideally, of course, that's your choice. But don't just shy off from the two bed one bath. Okay, those can be one part of your stepping stone to something bigger. We all have to start somewhere lah. No, if you ask me who don't want to buy the 5 bedroom, who don't want to buy the 4 bedroom, right? But we have to start off somewhere. All right, so don't discount off the two bed one bath, especially if this is your first entry in the property. I think this is a very good stepping stone for you to move forward instead of don't do anything or I save my money first, then I enter. All right, so this is a tip for you. So today, what I share with you is very useful, and you think that, hey, you really need help, you need somebody to really guide you step by step, then scan the QR code and reach out to us. Before I review, the dark horse, in my opinion, is out of this the better of the two projects. Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to scan the QR code. So you can also reach out to us if you are kind of wondering and to get certain clarity about your current property plans, what you should be doing. Or perhaps there are some future launches that you're kind of anticipating. Oh, I want to go for this. What should I do now? How should I plan towards that? All right. So there's nothing wrong with planning and prepare ahead. Oh, that's what I always mention. So this is, I think, very crucial for all of us. So come back to the dark horse, drum roll. Okay. So my opinion for the dark horse in these two projects will be Elta. Okay, Elta. All right. How many of you shocked? Huh? Really, Elta? When I say dark horse, does it mean that Parktown is not a good property? It's not. Okay, it really depends on different factors. So I share with you my own basis on why I believe Elta should be the dark horse because of proven records. And as you all have followed me, I'm very data driven, very numbers driven, and everything have to be proven. So Elta has proven track records from Clement Canopy as well as Cleveland, and the numbers shows it. You can't run, you can't lie, and they have been achieved before, which means it acts as a certain support price. Okay, and also if you really dive into comparison, Elta's layout is better function, has a better functionality of it. Parktown somehow or another is a little bit confusing. Okay, and it may not be able to relate to the actual homeowners when it comes as a resale. But is it still livable? Definitely. But if you compare, there will always be one that wins out another one. So I think the Parktown side what wins over Parktown is really about the convenience. And being only one of the 9 integrated transport hub in Singapore, right? Limited edition. But limited edition comes with a price. There will be definitely a certain premium that you have to pay into this property, but you cannot run away with the convenience. Okay, I personally have experience when I was doing viewings. Oh, it's really very convenient. You come down, shopping mall, all your groceries you can buy, everything is there. So that is why today, when you are choosing between these two, you need to be very careful about what is your objective. And today, if you're going for Elta, I would suggest, if you are going for investment, you, of course, it's no brainer, go for your 1 or 2 bedrooms. But if you can, you do not need to go extremely big in terms of Elta sizes. I would suggest you to go for the smaller 3 bedrooms or the smaller 4 bedrooms. Okay, if you really need the space. Yeah, the larger units, I think you can shy off from there unless you intend to hold that property for forever. Okay, then the larger units may help. So why do I say about the mid-size 3 bedroom and the 4 bedroom? Is because I want to help you to secure your exit in future. Or exit is always about the exit. And for Parktown, we all know that their sizes are bigger. So again, for Parktown, you definitely will have to hold it a bit longer because of the surrounding transformation. So I would suggest you to look at Parktown, look at something that you know you're going to live at least for the next 10 years. Okay, minimum. I'm not saying minimum lah. You can exit in between, but start thinking from a 10 years perspective kind of approach. Because if you buy Parktown already, very highly chance you will not sell. So convenient. All right. So you will want to stay on a little bit longer until your kids grow up. That's why you may want to have a little bit projection of the bigger size, bigger units that you have to house your family, house your kids when they grow up, and maybe all of them want to have their own rooms. So these are the things that we usually go through a clarification to let you have more clarity when you work with us, instead of just, oh, this is my budget, this is the location I want, buy. Oh, so I hope that today this session really deep dive into this little comparison, because there's so many things that we can compare, right? And I'm really looking forward for some of those of you who have reached out by scanning QR code, or you can find my information inside the description and reach out to us and we can help you more. So do subscribe and like this video, because moving forward, there'll be more projects coming out and we'll be doing in-depth analytics to help you understand how project is being done, as well as to get more clarity in terms of your own property decision. All right, with that, cheers. I see you in the next video.